My study is, does gut therapy reduce intradiabetic weight gain and improve metabolic parameters in dialysis patient? Why dialysis patient? Three problems are very common in dialysis patient. One is the thirst. Thirst is really an unsolved problem. Many studies have been done in dialysis to find out the reduction in the thirst by giving them chewing gums, ice cubes, but none of them have shown any benefit. Resistant hyperkalemia and pulmonary edema are very common. One fine day, one of our dialysis patients came with the complaints of hematochezia, that is blood in motions. He needed colonoscopic evaluation for this. So for a colonoscopic evaluation, he needed to be prepared for his whole bowel preparation. Can we actually use this as a therapeutic measure in dialysis patient? After going through the literature, I found that there was no literature to back my hypothesis. Then I went and searched on thirst. It was grossly underappreciated. Then on further evaluation, I found that the act of drinking itself could help in reduction in the thirst or quench the patient's thirst over and above the osmotic stimuli. Only gut dialysis, that is pre and probiotics, have been studied to reduce the metabolic parameters. So we decided to tap this idea of quenching the thirst, indirectly adding clearance if any possible. So the aim was to objectively study the efficacy of colon preparation solution, that is polyethylene glycol, in patients on maintenance hemodialysis, and subjectively studying thirst. So what were the objectives to reach the aim? The primary objective was to see the effect of intradialytic weight gain in hemodialysis patients. The other two secondary objectives were to see the effect of small molecular clearance, that is urea, creatinine, potassium, and sodium, and subjectively assess thirst using a visual analog scale. So we chose certain patients, that is those patients who are on maintenance hemodialysis for more than 3 months, with a stable maintenance hemodialysis, vascular access well established, age more than 18 years, a residual renal function of less than 200 ml per day, because I didn't want the urine clearance to affect my reduction, and a weekly thrice hemodialysis. Patients which were excluded were pregnant ladies, those who are hemodynamically unstable, had chronic diarrhea, difficulty in drinking, and recent strokes, and especially heart failure patients. We chose 3 successive hemodialysis weeks with the patient doing hemodialysis on alternate days, that is 3 days a week. The midweek hemodialysis session was chosen for our study, that is the day 2, the day 5, and the day 8. We chose the mid dialysis because the mid dialysis metabolic parameters value are as comparable to the mean of all the 3 days. So on the first week, that was a run-in period. We asked the patient to come for dialysis. Pre-dialysis took a sample and post-dialysis took a sample. Named that pre-dialysis 1 and post-dialysis 1. In the second week, just prior to the 5th day, we gave him the therapy. I'll talk about what is the therapy. And during the dialysis, we took a pre-dialysis 2 and post-dialysis 2 sample. And the 8th dialysis, we did a washout period. So sample allocation, we actually selected 40 patients. 35 patients consented. Out of the 35 patients, all of them actually completed the therapy, but only 3 of them did not turn up for dialysis on the same day. So what is therapy? Therapy actually includes polyethylene glycol with electrolytes, that is PEG, sodium chloride, potassium chloride, which was diluted in 2 liters of water and which was advised to drink over 4 to 6 hours. The average diarrhea or the average amount of motions expected for the patient to pass was 5 to 6, 7 times following it. We used certain analytical approach to find out the significance of this therapy reduction in our patients. One is a matrix plot, the other would be an interval plot, the third would be a reduction percentage, that is the significance, which is the most important thing in our study right now. The regression table, the contour plots, relationship matrix between the reduction and the metabolic parameters. I won't be showing all of them, but I would be showing certain things which are actually significant for our study. So now coming to the main thing, the interval plots. So first I would talk to you about creatinine, urea and potassium. Sodium I'll come at the last. So as you can see on the top left hand corner, which is showing creatinine, in the first week the creatinine mean was around 9. The second week post the therapy, the creatinine actually came down to around 8.0. So we are seeing from this plot there's a reduction of around 10%. In the third week, the value was sustained at around 8.2, 8.3. So what I meant to say is the reduction which has happened in the second week was actually carried forward into the third week. Whether this is significant or not, we'll come on to the next slide. If you come to the urea reduced in the second week, while it was tending to go back to the normal range in the third week. When coming to potassium actually significantly dropped from a mean value of 5.25 to around 4.74. That is quite significant. Is that really significant? We'll come to it. While it returned, or it was tending to return to the baseline level in the week 3. Sodium, on the contrary, increased from week 1, it increased to week 2, while it came back to the normal levels in week 3. Why has this happened is, there are two reasons why this would have happened. One is sodium is highly regulated by the body. So even if we are giving the patient some PEG solution and making him pass a lot of motions, the solvent drag because of this PEG solution is very minimal. And this was actually compared or actually shown to be true when a study was done by Sapira et al. When she compared polyethylene glycol for metabolic clearance, where she found that after giving the polyethylene glycol, there was 2% increase in the sodium, which was actually consistent with our study also. So now coming to the therapy reduction, the pre-2 values, that is the values post the therapy but pre-dialysis, reduced by around 10% when we compare to the week 1. The same happened for potassium, it reduced by around 10%. Urea again by 10%, and weight around 1 to 1.5%. The weight appears very small, 1.5%, but when we take a 50 kg man with a 1% reduction, that actually amounts to around 500 grams. That's quite significant for a dialysis patient. Now, to see whether the numbers are actually true or whether it's actually significant, yes, they are significant, especially for potassium and urea. The first week, the p-values are 0.01, when the urea values are 0.18. And this p-value, the significant value, actually carry forward to the third week also. Creatinine was actually coming towards significant. Thirst, this study was actually started with a plan to quench the thirst, but due to the subjective nature and the unreliable analog scale, we could not show any changes. It still needs further testing, but the good part was compliance to our therapy was actually very good, and the patients actually enjoyed drinking 2 liters of luxurious water. So for further directions, continue therapy for consenting patients, decide the cutoff points for age and weight, gender in future studies, expand the scope of study to include all CKD stages, CAPD patients, end-stage renal disease on medical management. The timing of therapy could have been better. We could have actually given this therapy on the day of dialysis rather than giving on the previous day. The role of urokinetic modeling in the therapy and volume could be focused instead of the weight. We could focus by doing BCM. So to conclude, small insignificant changes were seen in interdialytic weight gain, that was around 1%. But if you take the values as such, 500 grams, 600 grams, it's quite significant. Thirst satiety may be quenched, we don't know, because our study was actually underpowered and the thirst scale which we used was actually not validated. Substantial reduction in serum potassium level was seen, that was around 10%, which if you take an average value is around 0.5 milliequivalence reduction. That's quite significant. Safe mode for treating constipation. Some molecular reduction was sustainable even in 2 weeks post-therapy, and few anuric patients inadvertently missed HD by a day and remained safe.